Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for allowing us to gather in this space today, Lord. Thank you for guarding your angels around us during our journey here. And I pray that you continue to guard your angels around us throughout the day, Lord. I pray that the thoughts we speak, the thoughts we think, and the words we speak are pure. And every thought and every word and every action is from you, Lord. Allow us to be vessels. Allow us to continue to allow us to continue to spread your word through our talent, our voice, and our actions, Lord. In Jesus' holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
We back for another episode of Golden Street Speaks. We here with the amazing La'Mar Hawkins, the superstar. We want to give him a nice, warm introduction. La'Mar is one of those guys that would build a new world if he could. He's probably working on building one now. It's probably in progress, you know. Man of many talents, a painter, a musician, actor, chef, skater, father, friend, brother, uncle, leader, follower of God, gardener, a very athletic man, too, athlete. I'll put you in the athlete category. Just overall, just lit individual. You're going to see him shine for sure. I asked La'Mar to give me a number between 1 and 31. He gave me 3. Then I asked him to give me a number between 1 and 35. He gave me 33. So we're going to go ahead and open up with Proverbs chapter 3, verse 33. And this is what it says. It says, "The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked, but he blesseth the habitation of the just. Surely he scorneth the scorners, but he giveth grace unto the lowly. The wise shall inherit glory, but shame should be the promotion of fools." So let's see where that takes us. Yeah, let's see where it takes us. You know, I feel like we right now we're in the house of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? We're in the habitation of the just. Shout out to La'Mar. If you look at where we at now in the Golden Street Underground Market, La'Mar has been a great contributor to this space from the conception of its glory. So I want to thank La'Mar for that, and let's give La'Mar a hand for being here with us. Woo! Thank you, La'Mar. La'Mar, you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself?
I love to, and first of all, I want to just bless this space, man. This space has done a lot for, I think, all of us so far, and it's going to continue. I want to thank you all's beautiful minds. I want to thank you all for always putting God first and leading with love. Me myself, man, I was born in Harvey, straight out of Ingalls Hospital. Spent a majority of my life between my grandparents and my mom and my stepdad, and working a lawn care service with my dad. I developed much of my skill and most of the things that I do from my grandmother, whether it be arts and crafts, cooking, anything athletic came out of that household too. My dad and my mom were both, in a way, performers. My mom's an artist. My brothers are artists. My sisters, in a lot of ways, are artists. And most of the things that I've learned and cultivated come out of the Harvey South Suburb area. My goal and my plan is to take all of that and give it to the rest of the world. You know, at this point in time, some of my main focuses have been my music, my artwork, and performance. I studied acting at Illinois State, only to leave with an integrated performance degree and a Bachelor of Science. So at this point, I'm using my skills to contribute back to the world, to the youth, to my family members, the younger people in my family, and even the older people in my family. I think we can make an influence on just about anybody. Depends on who you come into contact with and how you really want to impact them. I mean, I can sit and talk about myself forever and ever, but
This is the time.
yeah. Well, I don't want to go forever. But if y'all got any questions for me, honestly, I wanted to start off with the song I wrote the other day. It's called "In the Water." Still got a little warmth in the water. Still got a little warmth in the water. Still got a little warmth. Oh, I still got a little warmth. Still got a little warmth in the water. Said there's still God's love in the water. You know his love is streaming from above. I know the Lord will save me. You know I'm glad he made me, and there's still a lot of warmth in the water. In the water, in the water, in the water. I wrote that because we had the water out for a couple of days. A pipe burst at the crib, so happy after 3 days to have water back in the house. I turned the water on and kind of let it run. And by the time I got in the shower, there was still a little warmth in the water. Sometimes you get in the shower, the water, all the hot water is gone, and you get cold water. So that was my song. And after that, you turn it to "Still got a little love in the water. Still got a little love in the water. Still got a little love. Still got a little love. Still got a little love in the water."
I can hear a choir behind that one.
Oh yeah.
Soulful choir, Yeah, that's beautiful, bro. It's beautiful. Your singing is amazing. I'm really I'm in the point right now, I'm trying to find my voice when it comes to singing and, performing in all aspects. Just really being confident in my voice. Because it's there. Like, I have the confidence. And, I've showcased it on different occasions, But I feel like it was a point in my life where I wasn't consistently just working on that, and I kind of lost it at one point. But now I'm at a point where I'm building up to get back to, that voice. But I feel like it's easy. Performing is like fun. Like, just having the opportunity just to perform, that's fun. And, that's something I look forward to daily, is just to perform. Even when I'm recording music, I want it to feel like I'm performing. Like, whenever I'm recording music and it just feels like I'm just trying to record a song, it doesn't really click for me, because I really want it to be like a performance, But yeah, I feel like me and Lamar got a lot of a lot of things in common when it comes to just our artists come up.
We both state champions. We both state champions in humorous duet acting, right?
Yeah.
With the same script.
Same
right?
script.
Pillow Talk.
Yeah.
So I won 2008, I think.
And I won 10 years after that, 2018.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Y'all the same person, parallel universe.
Yeah.
Was it 2008? Yeah, because I graduated in 2010. So I won my sophomore year, and then I won again oratorical declamation my senior year. My junior year, it was like, so in speech, it's like, can you do it by yourself?
Can you explain it about speech? Because everybody might not know
So
what speech
speech is really, so speech has, 15, 16 events, and it's really an extracurricular activity like any other. And I mean, just as you would go to regionals, sectionals, and state in basketball, you would do the same for speech. But it's for competitions, public speaking. Events like poetry, original comedy, prose reading, oratorical declamation, which is what I won state in, which is someone else's speech, reciting 8 minutes of someone else's speech. I would do Obama's speech, A More Perfect Union, and then I ended up winning with a speech called Being a Mr. G, Mr. Gandhi, like being nice to people, pretty much. How to be nice to people, a guide to being, the perfect person like Gandhi. humorous duet acting is one I think some of the more popular events are humorous duet acting, oratorical, original comedy, and SOS, special occasion speaking. So my senior year, I made it to sectionals in SOS. Actually, I might not have made it out of regionals. I choked up. In a round, and all my family was there. It was crazy. And I think I said, damn. I think I was like, damn, I forgot. And then really couldn't even finish and sat down. And it was crazy because that whole semester, I played football. I kind of going into my senior. So I won my sophomore year, right? I mean, you win state your sophomore year. That's like a big deal. Everybody's expecting, well, what's he going to do next? And then it was a duet event. So they're like, can he do it by himself? I mean, at least that's what I was asking myself. Can I do this alone? So a lot. I think I made it to state the next year, my junior year, in prose reading, or it might have been prose and dec. I think oratorical declamation. I didn't win. I think I was like finalist in both. So then, that year I'm like, oh man, can I do this on my own? The only way I can win state is with a partner. Going into my senior year, I was kind of fed up with the speech coaches. They use you like you a piece of meat. They use you like you just whatever. And I wasn't with that. I wanted to go do something else, anything else. I think I tried out for baseball, but the coach wasn't there at the tryouts. How Thornton their baseball team was never really strong. So next thing was football. So I went to the tryouts, and I didn't really make the team, but I was like on punt return or something like that. I swear I went out there and got smacked. But what I learned from football was the team effort, the camaraderie. Because a lot of times in speech, you're just going out there by yourself. It's not really a team thing. Like, we do warm-ups and we do things as a team. You want to win the tournament as a team and get the most points. But if your team ain't that great, it's really just you winning. It's really like, for most of the time I did speech, it was a me thing. But after doing football, it was like a team thing. I learned the camaraderie of, teamwork and really doing this as a team. So I went into senior year trying to do football, which during the football time, I should have been practicing my speech. And I feel like I could have been 3-time state champion had I not done football and done, football really messed up my high school acting career a little bit. Some of the guys that I met wasn't up to no good, which had me up to no good, which had a lot of stuff going on. But I don't regret it. You learn from everything. Yeah. After leaving Thornton, I went to West Point, or West Point's prep school. Oh, wow. And at the prep school, I played football because I had just got done playing football, at Thornton. So playing football really brought a lot of, it brought a lot to me. It definitely made me more of an athlete, kept me in shape, being able to work out with the football players and things like that. I probably gained about 30 pounds after I left Thornton and went to West Point. I went from like 160 to like 195, 200 pounds, and over the course of like 6 months. So I studied at West Point for 2 years, 1 year at the prep school, and then I actually went to the actual West Point for 2 years, and then I got out of Dodge, transferred to Illinois State, and did the acting program there.
Can you share a little bit more about the decision process and deciding what college you went to?
Yeah, well, so I went to 2 colleges. West Point is a college. Essentially, you're studying to become a officer in the United States Army, which is a big deal. You got many presidents who have graduated and all types of high-ranking officers that run the country that went to West Point. It's a very rigorous curriculum. So I went out of Thornton to the prep school, which was like a prerequisite to West Point. If you can do good at the prep school, they give you a space pretty much at the actual West Point. So 2 years there, and then I was able to take all my credits from West Point, transfer them over to Illinois State. Now, I had gotten accepted to Illinois State before I went to West Point. I just didn't want to go. I didn't want to go because my brother went, and I had been going down there, and I just knew what it was already. I'm the type of person, I like new things. I like new adventures. And for me, going to the Army, although I did not want to be a lieutenant in the Army, like it was never, most people, it's their dream to go to West Point. Their father went there, or somebody in their family, or they just know it's one of the best schools in the world, so they're like, I want to go. They try their hardest to get in. Me, Me, I didn't really care too much for the Army. It was kind of just one of the options I had, and it seemed like the best option, so I went. It was the one that would get me away from home. It was the one that would get me, I think some of the most recognition. So I was like, I'm gonna just skip Illinois State and go to West Point. But I wanted to go to USC. I wanted to study acting at the University of Southern California.
Okay.
So I applied to those schools in their acting program, but I didn't get in. So I was like, I'm gonna just go to West Point. I had some bad grades coming out of high school, and it just wasn't looking good. So although most people's dream is to go to West Point, it wasn't mine, and I kind of got in off the strength of a bit of a finesse, I kind of finagled my way in.
Slight finesse.
Yeah, slight finesse. But I mean, it worked out because, West Point is, to be able to have that experience is like invaluable, like it's priceless for real.
Yeah.
I still make my bed up every day, the right way. Yeah, because of West Point. So I chose to go to Illinois State mostly because it was close. They had an okay acting program when I got there. It wasn't what I thought it would be, but I did my best to take advantage of things like fraternity life. I ended up pledging and becoming a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I was able to do a few plays, but I think one of the gems that I got out of Illinois State was the skill of painting. I took a theater history class, and in that class, the teacher would always express himself so colorful. So I would take notes, and I would go back and take my notes, and I had just finished watching the movie Basquiat with Jeffrey Wright, and I saw how he would paint on the floor. Most people, they paint on the canvas, on the easel, on the wall or something. He painted on the floor, so I would be in my apartment just on the floor painting on fabric, not even no gesso, no nothing, just straight fabric. The paint's bleeding through the fabric and getting on the floor, everything. I shortly after that learned that I needed gesso to prep the canvas and things, but I just went straight in on the fabric. I think it was like, I forget what type of fabric, but not even canvas material,
Yeah.
But a lot of that had to do with some of the practicums that I did while I was in the theater program, painting sets and getting comfortable with the brush, doing wood grain. One of my favorite things to do was to do the wood grain. Mm-hmm. So to take something that's just a regular color and make it look like it's wood. Yeah. I kind of really enjoy doing that. So I'm like, well, I can paint, or I'm learning how to paint, so let me try this out. And ever since then, I think it's been about 10 years now, I've been painting as a not even a hobby. I consider painting, one of my professions at this point. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Your journey is definitely something I can relate to. As far as we both competed in speech in high school. Both won state in high school.
Did you win once or?
I won twice. Me and Chase, actually, we won back-to-back in HDA. Yeah.
So what script did you all do the second? What script did you all do the second time you all won state?
So the first time we won state, we did train. What's that joint called? Training Day or something like that? No, not Denzel. I forgot what it was called. Basic Training.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, we did that one. That one was lit. Like, I ain't gonna lie, speech was so lit, bro. Me and Chase was in that joint. Going to my first 2 years of competing in speech. My freshman year, I did original comedy. And I was like mediocre. Like, I wasn't really going into high school. I really wanted to play basketball because my dad played basketball. I felt like, man, I wanted to follow his footsteps really when it came to sports. And when I tried out for the team freshman year, I did not make it. And I told myself, if I don't make the team freshman year, I'm not trying out ever again. I'm finna find something else to do. And going into high school, I was interested in doing speech. So that was always something that was in my mind when it came to extra curricular activity. And my freshman year, I was kind of just going with the wind. Rachel, she was there freshman year. We used to be kicking it. Sophomore year, same thing. I kind of got more serious sophomore year, and just my approach to actually wanting to win in speech, Still, I was just going through, just the learning stages of how to actually perform, really. And my sophomore year, that's when I got cool with Chase, because he was a freshman when I was a sophomore. And he ended up making it downstate in OC his freshman year. So, yeah, he was going crazy. And we kind of clicked that year. Like, we was like, we got real close that year, And the coaches would see how close we was, and they're like, okay, yeah, I might as well do HGA together. We kind of pitched it to them, like, man, y'all should give us an HGA next year. And so the next year came, they gave us the HGA, and, we practicing. My coach, he didn't really know how far we would go. Like, he was like, okay, I'm not sure if this, he didn't even know if we would make the whole season with this piece. Just based off, how I was performing the previous 2 years. And the first tournament, I didn't know what to expect. I've never made it to a final round in speech. This is my first tournament HDA with my homie Chase. I didn't even expect, I wanted to make a final round, but did I expect to make it? I don't know. That was the goal, though. We made the final round. Okay, that was just making the final round in that first tournament was good. That meant a lot to me. We ended up winning that tournament. I'm like, man, I didn't even expect to win. We won. Then really from there, we was just going crazy that whole year. We probably got second, once or twice that year.
So you won your junior and your senior year.
Junior and senior. Yeah.
It's definitely not easy to three-peat. And I'm telling you, had I not done football and really prepped my SOS, I probably would have won state 3 times. But even doing it once is amazing, right? Yeah. I mean, it's so many people that do speech and don't get to win ever, right? Or don't even get to make a final round. I mean, it's people that just trash, and they about it. They do it. They go in every time prepared, but they're not good enough, right? So to make a final round is a big deal, like you said. To win the tournament is a big deal. To actually make it to state and win state is a huge deal, right? I mean, I think it's the equivalent or better, honestly, because going and playing basketball or football, you don't have to get up in front of people and talk, right? Yeah. So one of the most difficult, one of the most feared things to do, winning state champion is a big deal. So my brother won twice. I won twice. The guy, my partner that I was with, Alex Bass, he won twice. Okay. So you and Chase won twice. Man. It's we got a lot of 2-time state champions that come from Thornton. So I give it up to all of us and to you, man, for getting it cracking like that. Yeah.
I want to share, too, a lot of these people that won twice are Golden Street ambassadors, too. So that's letting you know how we coming, you know what I'm saying? Some heavyweight talent coming through the pool. I want to ask you about this painting that you brought with you. You were sharing how your journey at ISU brought you into painting, and you brought a piece with you. So if you could kind of break down some moments, from this piece. Nice, the frame is nice, the matte. The piece itself say a lot, the colors. So I want to learn a little bit more about this piece.
Let's learn about it. So I did a stint at Michael's Michael's craft stores, and I worked in the frame shop. I took this job living out in Atlanta. I've been living out in Atlanta for the past about 3 years. And I told myself if I did any type of job, it was going to be working at some sort of farm or nursery where I could work with plants, or something art-related, like a frame shop or a gallery. Mine's kind of tired. He over here yawning inside himself. He did an inward yawn. I caught it. It's beautiful, dude. How you kept that yawn. He ain't want to make me feel like I was boring him. He did the inward yawn. No, so I'm the type. I'm an artist, so I'm not just gonna do any type of job.
Right.
So I told myself I'm either gonna work on some sort of farm, which I did. I ended up working for a farm called Flintwood Farm. Yeah. They supply most of that area's color flowers. They're seasonal color flower growers. So the landscapers, everybody up to Chick-fil-A. I ended up doing deliveries to the owner of Chick-fil-A's home, dropping off flowers. It was beautiful. But in the meantime, while I'm working at the farm, I picked up the job at Michael's. Mm-hmm. Michael's really gave me, so much time in the shop, the tools to do things like this. Before going into Michael's, I would have never known how to frame, how to do custom framing. I would have never known how to cut mats and put together colors the way I do and the way I have learned to. But this particular piece comes from, I'm thinking a day in the shop where there was some leftover frames, some leftover mats, and I just didn't have anything to do. So I got to using the tools in the back. And most of these, even that one over there, I would just make while I was at work. I would put together colors. I would find different things around the store and make my own art and work on my own art. So after maybe getting pretty seasoned, maybe a year, maybe into working at Michael's, I could take just a sheet of paper and turn it into something like this, because that's exactly what it is, a sheet of paper. I think it's oil type crayons. And I got a thing for African art, African face mask. So I'm not really good at drawing detailed faces, but things like mask, things like shapes and using different colors and different structures, even like hieroglyphics. A lot of times what I use in my artwork kind of led me to something like this.
Yeah.
But everything from top to bottom, I created. So everything from cutting the mats out, so those holes you see, everything from cutting even the glass. I believe it should be masterpiece acrylic, and the production on it is me.
Okay.
I have a little secret for anybody in the area, in the McDonough, Atlanta, or McDonough, Georgia area. While working at the frame shop, sometimes you gotta be the type of artist that's unique and different and that does things that you wouldn't expect. So having to put together these frames to do the backing. So first, how it goes when you put something in the frame. First, the glazing goes on, which is the glass, could be masterpiece acrylic, different grades of glass, and then the art goes on. Sometimes there are mats in front, but usually it's the glazing, then the art, and then the backing. So in between the artwork and the backing, I would put, sometimes, depending on who the customer was, depending on, why I'm making this, I would put little notes, little secrets, maybe even sometimes pieces of artwork, small pieces of artwork in the backs in between the original artwork or the customer's artwork and then the backing of it. So now that it's sealed, you'd probably never know until somebody opens up the artwork to get it reframed or it falls and breaks or whatever the case may be, that there's a secret piece of art in it. So my artist name, which is Itri Imani, I-T-R-I, which is star. It means star in some African language. And then Imani, I think a lot of people know faith in some African language, right? That's kind of, Itri Imani has things like that he does, everything from secret paintings in the back of, custom framed things from my stint at Michael's to groundwork, pieces of artwork that have been cut, larger pieces that have been cut to smaller pieces, that really there's some sort of competition to get them all back together at once. So if you were able to retrieve all of these small pieces, you could put together one big piece, different things like that, just to make it kind of cool, kind of mythical. I think you've been calling my artwork a lot lately, archival, that type of thing. So it's like you can find this stuff buried somewhere, 100, 200 years from now. Or like I say, in the back of a frame, there's a piece, kind of unknown piece, a hidden piece. So you got the hidden pieces, you got the groundwork, and other various things that I think I'll come up with as, as time kind of travels, Yeah.
I want to ask, and thank you for sharing that. That's a top secret, and Golden
until you find it, right?
Yeah. But the fact that Golden Street Speaks got a chance to hear that, I think is very special.
I'm giving y'all many of the gems as
I can. Yeah, that's special. And I do want to ask, so what has Golden Street meant for your artistic journey? Looking at, I guess, starting off as a painter, being a musician, you shared a song with us. We've done a lot of collaboration within the past few years. What has this collaboration meant for you, and what can you expect to see from, I guess, the future of this partnership with Golden Street?
1 second.
Okay, yeah. Now go ahead. And you working on a piece of art right now. Look at that cutie. Look at that cutie right there. Yeah, you want to toss that for me? Thank you, I appreciate it. We're taking a quick cutie break. Quick cutie.
If If y'all have a cutie next to y'all, man, take a cutie break too.
Marsha, you want to share any words of wisdom with us while we?
Man, stay blessed out there, man. Stay blessed. Stay healthy too, man. Take care of your health.
Health is wealth.
Orange is beautiful too. It's good. Make sure you get that. So for me, I want to say it's hard to say, but it's not because it's right in front of us. You know, we're here. I think the things that we're doing every day, the steps towards something bigger, something better, something unique that I think the world hasn't seen before, is what Golden Street is bringing. And for me in particular, I've been getting up every day this past week. I think I only missed one day, but I did my best to make it here after I got off work cleaning houses with my cousin, who owns a cleaning business, Skinny Mini Incorporated, by the way. Yeah. Skinny Mini will make your home look like a shiny new penny.
Promoter.
Oh, yeah. So I work with Skinny, and then I'll take the train down to Golden Street Gallery, and it feels, man, it's been giving me purpose. You know, it's been giving me purpose in another lane, which is the art world, the community that is this Pedway and Chicago in general. I mean, the whole process from getting off work, changing clothes, taking a shower, hopping to the train, taking the train, seeing how it feels to take the train all the way downtown, then getting here and being immersed in this world and coming to somewhere that I feel I'm very comfortable, able to create, able to commute and communicate with other people that are down here. I don't know I know you all remember the second day, or I feel like maybe that was the first day we were down here. I mean, yeah, it felt so good to have other people. I mean, and the way people gravitate to this area, to this room, is amazing because they can feel the light, they can see the light. So that's what it's been giving me. The same thing I think it gives everyone else that enters here or walks by. It's been giving me light. It's been giving me energy. Mm-hmm. It's been giving me inspiration. I'm just thankful. I'm grateful, and what I see in the future, I see us doing amazing things, man. I see us coming from beneath and from the bottom, from the underground to above ground.
Yeah.
And being able to spread this message and be able to spread the kingdom of and the word of God and put people on to the kingdom of God, man. Yeah. So it's given me so much. It's really been putting me in the right direction, giving me a lot of purpose, and I'm grateful. I'm thankful every day.
Yeah.
For your vision, for your family's vision, and like I say, if it's anybody that they hit me up and they want to work or they need something, it's y'all. I'm coming running, and that's why I've been coming here, because I know we got something. We just need to have somebody here. So if I can be here, if I can ever be here and work, I've been calling it work,
right?
Because that's what in order to do it, you kind of got to do it, right? So in order for it to ever be work, I like to just call it work already. Yeah, I feel like I get off one job and come to the next, you know? And I see Golden Street in the future, selling out everything, I see us having to restock every month with a new artist or more paintings or more clothes, more artwork, that type of thing.
Yeah. Appreciate that. Got any questions?
Man. Beautiful. That cutie was good. Them words was wonderful. We can move into the next segment. This next segment is kind of just like what's on your mind, like what's on your spirit today, like what's been really, I guess, driving you, or just something that you have, or we all have been reflecting on this past week, or even today. Want to start? I guess.
You want to? Maybe you
I kick it off. For me personally, was something that's been on my heart heavy is learning how to enjoy my own presence, enjoy my own, just being alone, really learning how to enjoy my own company, not really relying on another person or another individual to uplift me or make me or have I don't know, just not relying on another person to bring the fun and energy and joy into my life. Just really learning how to embrace my own time alone, And I feel like that's important as a person to really know how to take that time alone and it's really growth. Like those the moments where you're growing, and it's really a test too, because you can get into a lot of dangerous things alone as well. And God gives us the choices to make. I feel like that time alone is really when that's heavy. Like that presence is heavy. Like, okay, I could either do something productive, I could do something that's gonna, lead me into, into the wrong direction. So yeah, really learning how to enjoy my own company. That's something I've been reflecting on.
Yeah, I feel you first of all on that, because some of my greatest moments are when I'm alone. I don't know if y'all ever heard Smino talk about greatest and worst moments is when I'm alone. But I don't know if you ever heard Smino talk about how, like, sometimes he's so cold, like he could catch a blunt on stage and hit it, toss it back out to the crowd, like do some real, like, just unique, cool stuff, right? I'm kind of like that too, but it's usually when I'm by myself so nobody sees it. So I could be walking down the street and, like, how you got the little, the little holes in the ground, little sewer type things. And I mean, it could be the smallest little hole, and I could unpeel a gum wrapper, eat the gum, ball it up, and right into the hole. You know what I'm saying? Like, amazing. Like, who would have thought I could get that precise? And I can, but nobody's ever seen it, right? So I'm kind of like that, and I usually can enjoy myself pretty good. Like, but the crazy thing is when I think about it in retrospect, I'll have something like a get together, a lot of people, and honestly, I wouldn't want nobody to leave because I wouldn't want to be alone. But I forget, that's me forgetting that some of my best moments are when I'm alone, I'm just not the type of person that want everybody to leave so I can be alone. I'd rather have somebody, with me, whether even if it's just one person. Sometimes being alone gets on my nerve, but I realize that when I'm alone, I be turned up. Like, I wish people could see how cold I am when I'm alone and how comfortable I am with myself. But this is the advice I wanted to give you, and it's the ritual that I've been doing kind of off and on when I can remember. But when you wake up in the morning or whenever you get out of bed or whatever the case may be, you brush your teeth, right? You brush your teeth, and whatever you normally do, switch it up. So if you brush your teeth with your right hand, start to brush your teeth with your left hand, right? So you get that done, brush your teeth, different hand. It's almost a process of learning to be a little ambidextrous, right? Then after that, you look in the mirror and you tell yourself, I love you, 10 times. So I say, I love you, Lamar. 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 Sometimes I go over 10, I just keep saying it. Sometimes I sing it. Sometimes but something about looking at yourself, telling yourself you love yourself does a lot for you, for your confidence, for everything. Then you do your 25 exaggerated breaths. So, and that really get the body kind of going, right? Especially get to 25. Like from those, 5 or 6, I can already feel it. Yeah. So you do something like that every morning before you leave the house or before you really get going, it'll change your whole makeup, your whole being, your whole way you feeling. And you'll go from kind of just waking up and doing the same thing every morning to doing something that may be the same thing, but it's something that gets your body, your mind, and everything really in sync. So. Yeah. I would encourage both of y'all to try it out if you don't do it already, and anybody that's watching, Yeah. So it's the left hand toothbrush or opposite hand toothbrush. I love you. I love myself. I love you. Whatever. Insert your name in the mirror 10 times and 25 exaggerated breaths. Okay. And that'll really get you. I think it'll help. Yeah, I think it'll help with getting comfortable with yourself.
Yeah. I gave it a try.
Yeah, I gave it a try too. I mean, you shared that with us the other day, and I gave it a try like the next day.
Yeah, so it's sometimes hard to kind of catch on and do it every day. Yeah. The main thing I do every day is I brush my teeth with my left hand. I just like doing it, The I love yous, I mean, you can tell yourself I love you in your head, but saying it out loud, something about saying it out loud. Yeah. So every once in a while I get all 3, but even just the switch kind of it even just switching the hand on the toothbrush triggers that, because it's all in sync with each other. So it'll trigger it for me too.
Yeah.
So like my mind will subconsciously go through the other things without even having to do it, just because I brush my teeth with my left hand type of thing. But that's usually where it starts for me. Something that's been on my mind though, since I still got the mic, is the bees, man. The bees.
Okay.
And this mission that I think Golden Street is being called to pursue. Not only learning more about the bees, but harvesting, housing, and finding a way to get more in touch with something that I think most people don't know and don't realize, is that the bees are very, very, very important to civilization and to the earth. So I don't know everything I kind of should know, but I've always, for some reason, been interested. And in a lot of ways, I want to start not only learning and being active with the bees, but doing more artwork that involves the bees. I got asked to do a mural that I'm hoping I can pass on to you. But the vision is that there are like these classroom of bees, of young bees, and maybe an older bee teaching. Every bee has different glasses. One has on gym shoes, one has on this or that, or whatever the case may be. But it's these bees that represent the community learning. And I think this would be a good mural to go outside of this daycare in Harvey. So
It's interesting.
yeah, I've been talking with the owner of the daycare. Shout out Leah. I don't know the name of the daycare, but there's really only one right on the other side of Popeyes on 154th. And I'm hoping, off Wood.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping, it used to be a grocery store. Now it's been a daycare for about 15, 20 years. They're kind of going through some stuff right now since COVID, but I'm hoping that the city of Harvey will have a new rising, and we'll start to bring some fresh and new ideas into Harvey. Things like, I think the mural, even the one that we did on the side of the Harvey Boxing Club, would be powerful. Shout out Be Powerful. I am my family's brand. I'm one of the founders, and what we want to do is bring to the community so much more light and love. And I think that starts with things like art. That starts with things like plants and different flowers. One of my goals is to find a way to create structures that dirt and flowers can go in to beautify the city.
Yeah.
On the corners, in the middle of the streets. I mean, even with it still being a lot of abandoned buildings and businesses, I think the flowers would bring some life to it, If you go out in Chicago during the summer, spring, or whatever, you'll see, I always wonder, what's Chicago's flower budget? Because their flowers are immaculate. The flowers are just beautiful. And if we had things like that in Harvey, I feel like it could bring a lot of light. It could, change people's minds about the area, change people's minds that are in the area, sometimes up to no good. Just seeing a flower or seeing something that's beautiful can give you a lot more hope, take away some of the darkness.
Yeah.
But speaking of flowers, I mean, the bees, it all kind of works within, that same circle. If we don't have any bees, we can't have any flowers. If we don't have any flowers, we can't have much beauty.
Yeah.
If we don't have much beauty, then all we got is a lot of ugliness and darkness, right?
Right.
So that means we need all of that, especially
for
the
real.
bees, right? So lot of bee activity on my mind. I've been watching anything that you send me about bees. I've been looking up just anything I can find to kind of educate me and teach me more about the bees. And I do plan on, making a bee house and starting some bee hives or whatever we need to do to just get more in tune with the bees. That one video I watched this morning was incredible.
Yeah.
That lady literally grabbed the queen bee and put the queen bee in a tube, right, with no suit on.
Right.
And she said she got stung, but I mean,
Right.
probably was nothing to her, right?
Yeah.
So I got history with the bees too. I used to be a pretty adventurous young man, and I can remember one day in the back of my church, going and hunting grasshoppers. We used to love to catch the grasshoppers by the two legs, and sometimes they'd be so big, you'd be like, dang, look at these hind legs. I just used to love the grasshoppers, right? I love insects, period, you know. But I know I stepped on something. I always say it was a tire, and I think it had a beehive in it or something. And I thought it was mosquitoes, because maybe 30 seconds after, I'm hearing like zzz, and I'm feeling stuff. I'm like, man, those mosquitoes. Lo and behold, it was probably about 20, 30 bees inside of my shirt. So I had to run back into the school, which was my church, and I had to take my shirt off. And the girls were having like a cheerleading or dance practice, right? And they're like, who is that with that shirt on? And it was like just a defining moment for me between the bees and being, you know, shirtless in front of some women or some girls. And it was just like crazy for me. And I can remember one of my teachers, Miss Jackie, trying to take the stingers out of my body. And I found out that I wasn't allergic to bees, which is, you know, a good thing now that I want to dive a little bit more into bees. But had I been allergic, I probably would have died from all those bee stings that I had. Yeah. But
that's a powerful moment, really.
yeah, it was. I mean, that's one of the most vivid moments in my life.
Right.
Getting stung by, because it's scary, right? To get stung by one bee is a big deal. You know, it hurts. So to get stung by multiple bees at once, right? They was attacking me, and now my mission is to kind of grow that relationship with the bees in a way that I probably never get stung again, type of thing.
Yeah.
You know. It's deep, man.
That is deep.
I had to be 6th grade, 7th grade, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe younger than that. 5th or 6th grade.
Wow,
I was young.
Yeah, I feel like my relationship with the bees is growing. You know, I got some experience as a youngin' where I got stung on a few occasions. You know, the moments I remember getting stung was just me being at my grandma's house outside playing. You know, all the cousins, we out there just playing it or hide and go seek, and I mess around and get stung by a bee. You know, So, and I feel like ever since those moments really kind of shaped my relationship with bees. So even as a grown man, it's like I might see a bee, I might be dodging the bee, but I want to get to a point where I'm just relaxed with the bee. I might let the bee land on me, and just really, learning how to vibe out with the bees and, learn more about them, do a deep study on them. So I definitely want to learn more about the bees too,
Yeah. The bees are the bee's knees. I've been really captivated by the bee's knees. Cause how do those bees' knees actually work?
Oh, you seen the knees on the bees?
Them knees is like they got little fur on them. They actually collect pollen when they land on the flowers. I learned that the bees have an electrostatic charge. So as they fly through the air, they build this electric energy. When they land on the flower, there's a positive and negative electrostatic charge exchange between the bee and the flower. So the pollen, I can't remember which one is positive and which one is negative, but the pollen attaches to the bee's fur or hair. You know what I'm saying? The bee gets up, lands on the next flower, and then that pollen drops off, and then that's how they, basically reproduce. The flowers reproduced from the bees, The bees are landing on these flowers because they want the nectar. They take the nectar from the flower back to the beehive. And all these bees are collecting this sweet nectar that eventually turns into honey. So what's been captivating by me is like, with the bees in particular, is like creating like different types of honey by kind of focusing in on which flowers you keep around the bees, like being aware on which flowers around the bees, It could be any flowers. It could be, I don't know if you knew tomatoes actually have flowers. At some point.
Plants
are
flowering plants.
Yeah, most plants are. Yeah, so you see whatever that flower is will affect the taste of the honey.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So that's something I want to be mindful of this summer as we get into beekeeping and really seeing like what kind of honeys
What kind of honey
can we make? You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's beautiful.
Yeah, so
I'm so excited about
I am
bees,
too.
Man.
Yeah, I am too.
It's crazy. It's all I've really been thinking about. I've been having company over and wanting to put on just bee stuff, but I know they're not interested.
Well, look, I'm working at the school, and I put on a documentary, and the bees start getting busy.
Yeah.
And all the kids, they running away from the projector. They don't want to see the bees,
Yeah.
I was like, man, I didn't know that was,
That's the thing.
gonna happen like that. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like that's been a part of my mentality, looking at the bees and really understanding what wisdom comes from the bees. Even when studying the scripture, I'm starting to understand that there's wisdom in everything, you know. So I could look at the bee and obtain wisdom. There's so much there, even in honey, you know what I'm saying? Because you eat the honey and too much of it is not good for you, you know what I'm saying? It can make you sick if you eat too much honey. But if you eat just enough, it can heal you. You know what I'm saying? You can use it in honey in a lot of different ways. We can learn how a bee goes out and work. Like you said, we come here, we're going to work. Bee is not playing around. That bee got a mission every time it step out, you know? So I think I've been like focused in this week on really identifying what my mission is or what my focus is for that day and really just kind of diving into that, you know, and taking advantage of every moment that God puts before me. You know, I step into the classroom with the students. I'm working at the, you know, at the school. And it's like I'm learning so much from the experiences because, you know, these students coming from different backgrounds and they have different looks on life. So I ask them questions, whether it's about art, whether it's about just how's the school year been formed, what's 7th grade like, what's 6th grade like, 5th grade, 8th grade. And I get so many different answers. You know, I see how the students engage with one another. And my mind is so captivated because it's like, okay, what can I do to help edify this space and to bring more light to this space? You know what I'm saying? I'm at Rosa Parks, which is the school I graduated from. A lot of the students, you know, out here don't really like the school. And I tell them I used to go here, and I feel that it was worse when I was here. And they asked me, how could this place be even worse? Yeah, how could this, you know what I'm saying? So while I'm there, a lot of times I'm thinking, okay, how can we make it better? And I feel like a lot of times, you know, people kind of get given up on the environment at times, whether it's the teacher or the student. And it's like, I feel like it's more that we can accomplish here, that if we think outside the box, we could do something that has never been done before. You know what I'm saying? I understand that this is a public school, public funding, but however, we get overlooked so much that us being in the shadows, I think, is an advantage because now we can take certain risks that people probably like, hey, let's give it a shot. Yeah. The water's been we've been having main breaks in Dixmoor. It's really been like a movie for me this past week because this past Monday, I'm walking to school. I see the mayor of Dixmoor. And I immediately recognized him. He was walking a dog. And it was just something about the day just felt very video game-ish. Like I'm walking to school from my parents' house, and I'm seeing like myself from the third person. I'm seeing what's in front of me, but my brain is like seeing me from an aerial view. I'm like, man, this is like a video game. Like I'm instantly like want to like move through the world, like very first person, third, you know. And I see the mayor, and I'm like, man, like, what's the chances I run into the mayor on the way to the school? I'm the art teacher at the school. We had this exchange. We exchanged phone numbers. He gets a phone call. The water's off in all the schools? I get to the school, find out that there's no running water at the school. They turning all the students around, the teachers. The teachers had to stay until the students left. And that just really kind of sparked my week off in a way where it's like, okay, I already felt that today was different, but that was just like a movie for me, you know what I'm saying? So I really been like diving into like envisioning things, like understanding what the vision is, and then understanding what actions can I take to bring in these visions to life. Like even the most impossible ideas, I want to be like, okay, at some point in time, somebody did something miraculous where it's like, man, this was the first person to do this. Like I look at George Washington Carver as an example, who they say innovated at least like 200 plus products from like peanuts and sweet potatoes. So it's like when you look at that output, it's like he really had to do the impossible. It wasn't nobody else that was putting the effort into saying, okay, how many products can we get from peanuts? Right. And he did it. He figured out so much. So it's like, it's so much in one thing. Like, I think we could really start diving in. Like, we all hold our phones in our hands, so I think we be so delve into our phones that we miss out on what are some knowledges and information and wisdom that we could pull from other things. I've been carrying a harmonica with me. I'm like, okay, how much can I get out of this harmonica? I didn't bring it. Yeah, I left it at home.
So I envision that you would have it, me with my drums, and Moshe being able to spit. And I'm kind of
down. I should have asked Mo to bring it. Yeah, I set it down because, you know, I had it at the school one day, and something told me like just go ahead let the harmonica marinate back at the home for a little bit. Yeah, so I set it down. But yeah, that's been on my mind, like really understanding how can I get the most out of every moment. We came into the gallery space on Tuesday, and I was really in like a deep meditation at some point. I started praying, and I thought about how when I dream, like when in the dream world, things kind of happen so naturally and organically. I'm not really like going towards something a lot of times. Everything's kind of coming to me and pushing me in a certain direction. I'm just like moving through that realm, you know. And then I wake up and I'm in reality. Most times I have to make a decision, you know what I'm saying? Things do come to me at times, but in order for me to get to one place to another, I have to make that move and take that step. And I just thought about how interesting that was for me. Like during this prayer, I said, amen. I left the prayer. As soon as I left the prayer, a guy walked into the gallery with so much confidence saying how he just got back from London. Come to find out he went to Thornton. We all went to Thornton, you know, and it was like, man, I was just considering how in the dream realm things come to me. And then in reality, once I left the prayer, something came right to me. And it was like, it felt like a shift took place. Like, man, now am I currently living in a dream? You know what I mean? And it kind of gave me a different look on reality in that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that connection between a dream and a reality? I had a friend share with me that she sometimes believes that life is the dream and maybe the dream is reality. And that kind of threw my brain off a little bit.
That's scary because my dreams be out of control.
So, yeah, that's where I've been at. Yeah, for sure. Thanks for that question, Mo.
Sometimes I be having dreams where it's like, okay, I had the dream, then I have a moment in real life and just think like, okay, well, this moment seems so familiar. Was it in the dream or is this a moment that happened already? Like, I had a moment like that this morning. You know, where I feel like this moment happened in a dream or it happened already.
Yeah.
Like deja vu. Yeah. My dreams I feel like the dreams I have definitely stem from the things I consume and the things I think about on the daily. You know, a lot of my dreams really is like a source. The main source is what I consume on the daily or what's on my mind on the daily.
So you think if you eat a lot of junk food, a lot of pop, alcohol, wild stuff, you have wild dreams or you have just wild life?
Yeah.
You think you can be as pure and perfect as you want to be with a bunch of junk in your body? Or do you think, let's just say you got some sort of frugivore diet where all you eat is fruit. Speaking of fruit, there's a pear in that black bag. You think you can pass it to me?
Wait, can I respond to that question?
Oh, for sure.
Pears.
Oh, yeah.
Pears. What's Rick Ross say?
That joint look nice. Now, you know what's interesting?
The buffalo be eating the pears or something.
What'd he say?
I think he be feeding his animals fruit.
Yeah. Rick Ross.
That joint sound delectable. So I at one point I realized, like, because I keep the Sabbath, you know what I'm saying? Friday night kick in to Saturday night, I'm resting, you know, and I'm dedicating that. Did it cut off?
Yeah. Like it just did.
Okay, yeah. Now you can.
Yeah, we got this one right here.
It's done?
Yeah. No, we good. Let's
It
take a picture.
says- Yeah, I think it's another temperature warning. Can't remember which one.
It says temperature warning.
Should we go off that one?
Yeah, we got this camera up here now too. So if you want to cool that one down, we can just look at this camera from now on. Hey, you know we innovating this podcast, so we thank God we got the GoPro right here. Shout out to the everybody wave at the GoPro, man. Let them know we see you there. I'm realizing as I get older, there be some days where I'm going into the Sabbath, and you know that day is a day of sanctification. It's a day of separation. It's a day of rest. It's a day of really like tapping in with God at a higher level and considering God at a higher level. And I would go to sleep at night, and sometimes I would have some of the wildest dreams, you know, and I'm going into the night with a mindset of like really putting God first. And I end up in some of the most unclean scenarios sometimes in these dreams. And it's like, I wonder, like, what is God showing me? Or what is God sharing with me. You know what I'm saying? Because I can go into it like, man, I feel like I'm in a pure state, like very pure mind, at rest, at peace. And that dream would just be like, sometimes I have some unclean thoughts, or unclean moments taking place in the dream. So,
When your body cleansing it out, getting it out, you know? Especially if you're being intentional about stopping certain things and not doing certain things. What I found, the body's going to do almost whatever it wants or needs to do.
yeah.
I mean, not to get too graphic, but I've had moments where I've tried celibacy and just the dream wasn't happening, right?
Yeah.
Woke up and, there it was. And it's like, how can my body just do whatever it wants? When I'm telling it I want to do one thing, then I go to sleep, my most vulnerable moment, and my body's just doing it by itself, right? Which means, what control do you have, you know? But maybe it's your body cleansing itself of whatever that is, or, you know, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I think it's still a lot of things we just haven't figured out about the human body and what it goes through. But if you're intentional about cleansing or stopping doing something, or, you know, fasting through the Sabbath, or, you know, taking a break from something, your body recognizes it and knows, you know,
Right.
and it's going to react in some type of way. Now, it may be, like you said, something wild or kind of, but all of it is showing you something, right?
Yeah.
All of it is speaking to you in some sort of way, and it's really about how you interpret it and what you choose to, you know, to take close or to kind of, you know, get away. Yeah, let go.
Yeah, that's key.
Yeah.
Man, that's really been my week, just learning discipline. Like, I feel like for me, sometimes my discipline be weak. Like, man, like recently I've been having these bad reactions to pastries and gluten. And it's like, man, every time I eat some, like a donut or it's really the cherry danishes that be having me. Yeah, them cherry danishes be taking me out. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, later last year, like December of last year, I had a moment I ate a cherry danish and it just took me out for like 3 days.
I'm just envisioning scenes where, like, somebody that's got this issue that you got with cherry danishes, like, always seeing them somewhere and, like, you know, like running from them and shit. Or, you know, or like, you know, like you just walking down the street and it's like a sign that say cherry danishes on sale. And it's like, it chokes you up every time you see one. You know, and then like you want it, you know, low key because they are good to you, but you know what's gonna happen if you eat a cherry danish, right? And then all of a sudden they just be like sitting by you, like you look over your shoulder, like, or you walking down the street and it's like a big cherry Danish costume dude, like walking up on you, like I can't get away from these cherry Danishes, man.
Yeah, I love that. Turn that into something. I ain't gonna lie to you. Cause man, whatever I create in my creative journey, it's definitely inspired off my real life. Like whether if it's a song, TV show, movie, like whatever I'm doing, it's inspired off what I'm seeing on a daily basis. But yeah, basically I ate another cherry Danish this past Friday. That joint had me down bad on Saturdays. So now I know it's like I can't eat no cherry Danish, no donut. Like I got to be disciplined in that area on just not eating those things. Like just, you know, stay away from the cherry Danishes. I ain't trying to take that L no more. Okay, so I got a question for us. I guess it's a scenario question or just, you know, a life question. The question is, what's a misconception people often have about you? I guess we'll start.
That's a good question. I would say one of the greatest misconceptions about me probably comes from my last name being right. Some people would say like you Ahmad right, like you can't go wrong. Your last name is right. I even hear people say like the Wright brothers can't go wrong. They right. And I think just like carrying that last name, it sets a certain standard even to really always be right. That really I haven't really thought about it until like maybe about 2-3 years ago. One of my friends named Aham was like, he said, your last name is right. Think about it. Ahmad's right. It's in your subconscious. You probably always want to be right. And I was like, man, you know what? I never really thought about it in that way. But now that you bring it up, I can see that actually being almost this constant reminder in my journey. And even though that might even look at me, it seems like, man, last name is right. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I would say that's probably one of the misconceptions is that I'm always right.
That misconception is so deep because if you really go down to the family lineage, family tree, our last name not really right, really. Because my father, he got his mother's second husband. He got his last name. But his father's last name is Johnson. So when you really look at that, me, Maz, Malachi, our last name really is Johnson. But we take on that right last name, you know. No telling why the Lord allowed us to have that name, you know, but it's deep. I want to shout out, I got the Golden Street socks on today, y'all. I got the Golden Street socks on. You feel me? Hey, we finna drop them soon. Oh, yeah, we finna drop the Golden Street socks soon.
Oh, yeah, we got to put those out.
Cop, GoldenStreet.net.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I feel like a misconception about me is that, huh? You said what? Oh yeah, gotta cop the sock. But I feel like a misconception about me is that I'm like, I don't know. People call me Hollywood. People call me like mean, or people don't like to. Well, they don't call me mean. They just think I'm mean or I'm unapproachable, just based off my demeanor. You feel me? And I really have a relaxed demeanor. So my face, my resting face can look like, dang, like what's wrong with you? You good, bro? But really, I'm just chilling. You feel me? My mind be good so many different places. Like I could be thinking about so many things, especially when I'm at work, just sitting there or just moving through the streets. People be like, dang, you can smile. Like, you should smile often. Like, I get that a lot. Like, I was getting that a lot last year. Like, people like, oh, you should smile or this and that. Or, you know, you should try smiling. I used to get that a lot. One time, I'm sitting at the reception desk at work. And this guy like, damn, he got the poker face from hell. I'm like, dang, bruh. Like, people really be, like, coming at me because my face, how my face be looking. But the whole time I'm good. Like I'm in a good spirit. You feel me? I be chilling. But yeah, that's really just a misconception about me that I feel like that people have, that I'm just unapproachable.
I'd have to say a common misconception about me is that I am light-skinned. I'm not. I'm dark-skinned on the inside. Like purple-blue on the inside, you know? Yeah. So I would like for people to stop calling me light-skinned eventually and just know that I'm dark-skinned on the inside. No, this is something that's been happening to me. I grew my hair out, my locks. I got long hair at this point, all right? I take these braids down, and I have like a Jesus look to me, right? I get compliments from men and women. And it's got to be a compliment, right? You look like Jesus.
Right.
You got the Jesus vibes. And I'd be like, that's kind of weird, right? Because who really wants to be called Jesus? Like, for real. Like, nobody, right? Jesus is perfect, right? Yeah. So it's kind of hard to take the Jesus compliment, especially from guys. And it's usually guys. I'd be like, why do guys feel the need to go? But I figured it out. It's because I'm light-skinned. And people associate Jesus with light skin, with whiteness. So it's a kind of an aggravating compliment, right? Because although, thanks, bro, thanks. Mm-hmm. It's also like you're only saying that because of your view of Jesus. Your misconception of Jesus Christ, right? And it's that he was this white man with this long hair. And because I'm light, because you don't see dark-skinned guys with long locks and people be saying, oh, man, you look like Jesus. Yeah. Never. You don't hear that. So I would like to end the misconception of me being the light-skinned Jesus. I am dark-skinned on the inside, everyone. Believe it.
He said purple.
I am purple-blue on the inside.
Purple blue.
Yes, purple-blue-black.
Purple, blue, black.
Purple-blue-black on the inside. Yeah.
Man, that's funny because growing up in high school, you know, with the homies, I had a pretty big friend circle in high school. Like I had a lot of friends. You feel me? We moved around kind of as a gang, and like all our links, like they used to come over my crib, and like me and my father, they used to call him God. They were like, bro, they used to call him God. Like I'm like, bro, why is y'all calling this man God? Like. They literally like, bro, they literally not call him nothing else but God. You talking about God? God? You feel me? So that's something that used to be hilarious just growing up. You know, I used to really just like trying to understand. Like it kind of like I didn't want them to call him God because like man like
You know what it is.
yeah like man this man ain't God like this is not God.
You seen him fall down. That wasn't God.
But it's cool though. It's cool that it's really just okay. This is how they see my father, like, cause my father's yeah he cool. He be chilling. I kind of
And I do. I don't want nobody to think I don't want to be called Jesus or walk in His image. I do. It's just it's starting to feel like it's because I'm light skinned more than it is because I actually look like. Don't nobody know how Jesus look
Right.
for real. So
Yeah. Yo. Oh. Come on now, Chase. You good.
It's a chair right
You can grab one of them two crates too. If you want to, yeah.
Yes. You can stay. If you want to.
Now you know what? It's interesting that you know your friends call Pops God, because actually in my most recent days I kind of look at Pops and I'm like, man, Pops got like a godly presence. You know what I'm saying? Like very just
Godly is also like it's kind of different too.
yeah. But even within like the God idea, I think it's not necessarily a bad thing in the sense of understanding. Even the scriptures say honor your father and your mother. And when you look at Adam, his father was God. You know what I'm saying? So I think Pops really, God has allowed him to take on that fatherly, godly presence to where I think those that meet him or those that kind of step into his presence, they can feel it. You know, it's you really kind of notice it. Even me growing up, like I think I used to fear Pops growing up.
you fear God.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. Like I fear God, I fear Pop, but I love Pops though. Yeah, I love him.
Yeah, I could say the same too. Same. Let me pull out another question for us to unpack.
Maybe y'all ready to freestyle too.
Are you trying? We got a freestyle break right now.
Yeah, we can get that going.
Come on. Yo, this is Golden Street Freestyle. I'm your boy Moshe. We in the Golden Street Underground Market, downtown Chicago. It's nothing but good vibes flowing through here. Sometimes I may stutter, mumble, jumble, rumble, fumble. The bag, a baddie. Sometimes I had. But sometimes I'm glad and I'm mad and I'm sad. I ain't never sagged. I ain't show my draws. Sometimes I sag. Sometimes I lag. I wake up in the morning and sometimes I'm mad. But I hold back my tears. I hold back my fear. Trying to see the realness in my life. I gotta be real. That's alright. That's okay. My name Moshe. Last name is right, but it's wrong. I put it in a song. I read it like a poem or a song. Song, proverb. I've been reading books since a youngin'. I've been reading hooks since a youngin'. I've been writing hooks since a youngin'. Since a young boy, Dick Smo. I had dreams of being 6'4". I had dreams of being 6'6". I'm like, damn, how you write this? How you make this? How you rap like that? How you write like that? How you act like that? Nothing I do is whack. Nothing I do is whack.
Shout out to my wife Raquel, we was up all night, she was all in my hair. Life been fairer than the fair at the fair. When I'm on a Ferris wheel, then I'm all like, hey, hello, a her, a dare, a fair. I don't even need no affairs in my life. I don't even need to get in trouble with my wife. I've been walking on the steps, take it right. Oh, what just happened? It not got me like, whoa. I've been in the air, I've been falling from the sky. Now I'm like, whoa. I might dive like sky, like plane, like bread, like locks, like, whoa. I don't ever stop. I don't even, I mean, dead like, whoa.
Yeah, I like that. Just a quick,
Oh, bro. See, the thing about us, man.
He said, I don't need no affairs in my life. I ain't trying to be in trouble with my wife.
For real. Man.
Oh,
Bro, bars, kid. You know, man, one thing about Golden Street, man, we always gonna bust out a freestyle, you know, no matter what occasion it is. Right now, we working on having the first ever Golden Street cipher. Golden Street cipher right here in the underground market, man. So we really want to get some of the top spitters, top artists, not even the top, like anybody that just want to spit. You know, we want to bring y'all down here and just vibe out, you know, hop on the mic and just, you know, I mean, it's really nostalgic, you feel me? I feel like this is something that doesn't happen often in the world due to the social media era, and people are kind of breaking away from that intimate, you know, gatherings, you feel me? So this is something we working on. Yeah, if you listening, if you watching, stay in tune, because it's happening. It's gonna happen soon. You know. Calling all producers, all the rappers. You can be from Chicago, Atlanta, you know, New York, you know, New York. Come down to the Golden Street Underground Market. All right. Next question. If you had the power to solve one global issue, what would it be?
I gotta zero it right back to them bees. You know what I'm saying? You was telling me that the 5G is killing the bees.
5G is killing the bees. Yeah. Cell phone towers, they can't navigate.
You break that.
I don't know as much as I probably should, but I do remember listening to the Erykah Badu album, and in the beginning, she talks about how the 5G towers are making it hard to find Tyrone.
Wait.
Yeah, so what's happening is the 5G in these towers, I mean, just imagine, 100 years ago, there was none of this stuff, right?
Right.
Bees was able to fly freely with none of this extra, I don't even know what you call this stuff, you know, what really connects phones and connects signals, but none of that was there. And a lot of things, probably all types of animals and birds and insects, probably had an easier time navigating. Now I'm thinking because of whatever the bees' makeup is and how they navigate, they're lost sometimes. They can't really find. I watched yesterday one of the documentaries I was watching and it was about the drone bees and how they go out and pretty much find where the flowers are. They go back and tell the hive, and the way they communicate is with like a dance. So they move a certain way, and all the bees watch. And let's say he moves this way a little bit and that way a little bit, and that means follow the sun or follow this way. And that's how he shows them where the patch of flowers or whatever is at. Mm-hmm. So if they don't have those navigation skills, then they can't get to the flowers and they can't pollinate. And it's because of the 5G and the way the phone service has kind of just discombobulated them. Like they can't really navigate through it. So yeah, I've been doing my best to stay off the phone as much as possible. I call it off the grid. I've been off the grid now for about 4 months. And it's not totally off the grid because as soon as I get to a Wi-Fi, I really can't help myself. Right. I get on that thing. But other than that, I have no phone service, no number, not very reachable. And that's something that I think has given me a lot more just concentration on the moment, more present, just improving my memory. I think it's done just so much for me, not necessarily being attached to a phone. I mean, you think about it, 100 years ago, nobody was walking around with a computer in their hand.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's what we do. And then can you imagine the signal and all the things, the input that's coming into this phone
Right.
just from you walking around with it? I really heard that you're not supposed to have phones plugged up in your bed while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
And I think most people do that.
You're not supposed to have it within like 10 feet of you.
This is my new thing. I tell people, treat your phones. We should treat our phones like sex toys. They should be somewhere hidden, put away where nobody can see, right? Until you need them for that moment, right? Of pleasure, right?
Right.
I think phones are supposed to really give you a little bit of having this dopamine, this thing in your hand 24/7. I mean, people cannot stop. They can't stop scrolling. They can't stop calling, checking, looking, using. And I just like it's affecting the bees in a negative way, I think it's affecting us a lot too.
Yeah.
So if I could fix one thing, I was going to say like racism or something. But if I could fix one thing, it would be like just the effect that these phones and these computers and these devices have had on us as a people.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the phone, but it's not a day to go by that I don't want to smash it into the ground and get rid of it because I just think it's not good for me. So, just even the from not having the phone on, only being able to use it on Wi-Fi, I think has given me a lot. If I was, and I don't plan to ever go back to having, normal phone service. Yeah.
And I don't want to divert from the question too much, but when you look at where we are now, even considering the cell phone, would you say we going back in time, or are we going forward or back in time?
It's hard to say because, so they say FaceTime is not new. Who was they? The Ninja Turtles. I mean, I don't know, right? There's a scene in the Ninja Turtles after they lose Master Splinter. They all go out to that little place with April O'Neil and what's my boy name? What's the other guy that play Elias Koteas from Chicago PD played him? Casey Jones. They're out in this wilderness and they want to meditate, so they go sit around a tree and a fire and they start meditating, and then Master Splinter emerges from the fire and talks to them, which shows that like if you just meditate, if you just think about somebody hard enough, you can connect with them and see them and talk to them, right? Yeah. So when you talk about iPhones and phones and FaceTime and all this new stuff, is it really new, or is it just a physical manifestation of something that we can really do ourselves inside of ourselves, right? So I'm thinking most of the stuff that we have is some new world double or some new world iteration or reiteration of something that I think was already made or already there, or some capability that we already had. Yeah. I had an instance in here the other day. I was in here painting that bee, working on that bee you saw me working on, and I thought about a friend of mine, Marshall Wilder. His father just passed recently. Made Mr. Wilder rest in peace, and he'd been on my mind, and it happens every time when I think about Marshall, just because we got that connection. He either calls me, I call him because he thinking about me, or we find each other. So that same night, I normally don't take the train in Ivanhoe, Riverdale. I take the train from Harvey. This day I wanted to switch it up, so I took the train out of Riverdale, parked the car, came down here, thought about Marshall, got on the train. Before I got off the train, I saw some boots that kind of just caught my eye. He had ankle weights on, and I'm thinking it's somebody crazy, and a little bit Marshall is a little crazy. It ended up being Marshall, right? Now, mind you, I just thought about him, thought about calling him, everything while I was in the gallery. I didn't, almost because I know how it works with me and him. He's going to pop up, right? Me and Marshall spent the whole next day and a half kind of talking and hanging out because we hadn't seen each other in a while. But we are a bit telepathic without these phones. Like, we really can call each other. We really can think about each other and, end up crossing paths. We just kind of really got to get rid of that stuff, right?
I think it's a moment there, even referring back to the scripture about idols and how sometimes we could really invest so much energy into the idol that it could become an idol worship moment there in the sense of reliance. We understand that Moses was granted the ability to open up the Red Sea, and was it the power of if he had a staff in his hand, was it the power of the staff
Right.
that gave him that ability? Or was it that power that came from God that gave him the ability to open up this sea? You know what I'm saying? But even if the staff had some power, I truly believe that the power came through Moses from God
Right.
to do what it did. And when you look at these phones, at some point these are idols. An idol is just something that has no value. You know what I'm saying? It's like you really have to give it the value.
Yeah.
The phone becomes one of the greatest idols of today because you can interact with it in the sense of, like you said, making those phone calls. We've given it so much power as a collective. As a collective human race, we've poured so much energy into the phone to where now we
It's
all
on everything.
Yeah, we all kind of rely on it to do a lot of the things that we do. But imagine if you said, like you said, we put away the phones. Again, referring back to Moses, he was able to tap into God at the burning bush.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, who would have knew?
Yeah.
Who would have thunk it?
It's like the Bible shows us all these things that we think are not achievable, but it tells us that obviously they are, right?
Right.
And we see them as fables or stories or whatever the case may be. I think a lot of people see it as fact, But if it is true at all, then yeah, why do we waste our time with iPhones when we could just be meditating enough to talk to our ancestors or talk to somebody that's miles away or get across a body of water, I mean, who was it that walked on water with Jesus? Was it Peter? Right? I mean, that's amazing, right? To think that you could walk on water.
Right.
I mean, I honestly think we probably can.
I think we can.
Yeah, I feel like I know we can.
Yeah.
Do you see me going out and walking on it, though? No, it's probably because I'm seeing something scary about it on the phone. Or all my life I've been taught that I probably can't do it, right? So, yeah, it's about getting past what you see or what the world sees as a thing and making your own new thing. And what may be the new thing is more than likely the old thing, right? Yeah.
Man, yeah, my answer really is inspired off y'all answer. Yeah, for me recently, the past few months, I've had like a love-hate relationship with my phone, and just really not allowing the things. Like I'm really monitoring the things that I consume through my phone, and not allowing those things I consume to shape my whole my thoughts. You feel me? And my actions. Because sometimes I might see something on the phone, and that might just change my whole mood or my whole day, or So yeah, recently I've just been, man. I've been having a definitely love-hate relationship with my phone, like kind of like Lamar. Like this moment, I just want to throw this joint across the street, like And really going back to that discipline that I was talking about earlier is like, how disciplined can I be, and how intentional can I be with not using my phone as much as I do? Because there's moments I'm on my phone where it's like, okay, I don't need to be on my phone right now. It's like, I could be doing something else, or I could be actually connecting with my loved ones that's around me in the moment, So it's really just learning how to embrace the real world around me and not, resulting to the phone for whatever. It's like I'm searching for something on my phone, or looking for some type of answer or something. I feel like for me, really, it's like I'm looking for that next dollar. I feel like that's why I be on the phone. Like, man, I'm looking for that next check.
I don't see no dollars in my phone.
Yeah.
I grew up in a space where, like, me and my brothers had bands. We would play music to make money. I grew up cutting grass and working out in the yard, making money. I've never looked at my phone and thought I can make millions of dollars. I mean, I know a lot. That's just not my generation, it seems like, In order for me to make money, I feel like I need to be out in the world doing what I do, showcasing my skills and my talents. Now, does the phone give you a way to showcase it? But I don't know. It's so far-fetched for me. I just don't come from that. I come from getting up on the stage and showing everybody what you got. I come from going out and getting it in dirt, getting dirty and coming back home and somebody paying you for some work. The phone does not seem like I really be thinking I'm not. It's just like a toy. Sometimes it seems like a game or a toy, that could lead to sometimes it can lead to that connection or that communication that'll lead to some money. But I mean, hopefully it starts to bring more cash flow to me. But I think the real way to get something or to get people to see you is to see you in person and to be there to experience you. And in that way, whatever your gifts are, whatever your skills are, translate into money. But I do not ever find myself thinking I'm gonna make money from this phone. Yeah.
It's really a sense of power that comes from the things you hold in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a paintbrush, the phone, anything, a light, a stick.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one time I really was like thinking about Moses one day. I keep going back to Moses. And it's like, I thought about that staff he had. I'm like, man, he has just the largest, like, whatever the staff was.
That man had a big stick.
Pause.
Speak lightly, but carry a big stick.
Right. And I'm over here really, like, thinking, like, man, like, that sort of power that he had, like, what do I have to do to kind of get to that point? Like, this is my inner thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And I think somehow I dropped down on the floor, and I ended up on the floor at some point. And I looked down, there was, like, a little small twig in front of me. I'm like, where did this twig come from? And I'm like, man, it's like God was telling me, man, you want that staff, but you got to start small.
You gotta start off with a little stick, with a twig.
What can you do with that twig? You try to, you want the staff. You can't even do nothing with that twig, man.
Figure it out with this twig.
You're right. I think the phone really just like that sense of power, though. It's like, I think once you have it in your hand, there's so many worlds you can connect to, so many people you can connect to. Mm-hmm. It's so much you can experience. You could be in Australia, Egypt, on the moon, in outer space, in somebody's living room. Just in the palm of your hand, there's so much you can do, so much power you're granted just by holding the phone. I think we all, at some point, kind of want that sort of power. So I think, like you said, you get that moment of dopamine that come from it, because it's like, man, when you need that, you kind of recharge through the phone sometimes. You be calling your loved ones. You kind of on FaceTime, looking at yourself. So many things, playing games. Like, this is my daily interaction with the phone. I was talking to Raquel last night, and we were just talking about, like, I asked her about, do she feel like she asks questions more to God, her fellow man or woman, that she passed by, what I'm saying, or does she ask more questions to the internet? She gave me her answer, and I gave her mine. I realized in this past week, I've been asking a lot of my questions to the phone, to the internet. You know what I'm saying? If I got a question, I'm going on the phone looking for the answer. Now, God has been kind of coming in second in that arena, and it's like I kind of reflect on that. It's like, man, I need to work on that, you feel me? Because I need to start asking God first, because when we ask God first, then we get the answer that's probably more tailored for you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You ask God, and like, okay, I know what answer La'Mar needs. The phone is more general. You know what I'm saying?
Mess you up, man.
Yeah.
You start Googling stuff. You like, why am I coughing like this? And then the phone will tell you, well, you left this and you left that and you admitted this and you actually might have cancer. You be scared as ever because you didn't ask the phone. Yeah, now you actually thinking it and becoming it. When all actuality, you should have seek God before you start tweaking out.
For real, seek God before you tweak.
Yeah. I ain't with it. I ain't with the phones, man. And I hope we come to a time again where we can function without them.
Got to go back to the pager at some point.
Not even the pager, man.
Got to work backwards.
Just meditation, bro.
Just
sit down, meditate, and I think we can teleport and talk telepathically, for real. I think everything we have now that does stuff fast and quick and we got to pay for, is probably can be done without it. I really do. I feel like people saw that some people could do it, and some people couldn't, and was like, well, let's make a way that everybody can do it. And then everybody's going to think that that's just the only way that everybody can do it. The only way you can get from here to there is to fly. The only way that you can call somebody that's over there is to use the phone. When in all actuality, we can probably do what? We can probably fly on our own, teleport. We can probably call and talk to people and honestly hear their voice and see their face without even being in front of them. Probably easily, but we just don't know. We've been taught that you got to have this and you got to have that. So... I mean, I would love to see it, and honestly, if I got to be the one to figure it out, I will. it's just, I wish I had more time.
You might have more time than you know.
More time than you think.
Think about, we got to read the scripture. Maybe I'll pull out my Bible. I was going to look for the scripture on my phone, but I just feel like it ain't right now. But before this podcast, and I want to read the scripture about how Jesus brought Moses and Elias, and they talked to them in the mountain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you think about that form of communication. This is Jesus talking to Moses in that day. And it's like, for what we know, Moses is dead. Elias, for what we know, they dead. But Jesus is having a conversation with them or appearing with them. And it's like, maybe that's a power that Jesus presented to us, and then we started to go the opposite way. Like, maybe we were supposed to tap into that a little bit more, and we kind of missed out on it. Or maybe it's still room there. Like you said, what's the homie name that you saw on the train? Marshall.
Mm-hmm. That was amazing that I saw Marshall that day.
Yeah, I feel like you should, definitely get that. I want to hear that script. Rewrite script. Just like the Matrix, we make the track flip. Man, this been a great conversation, I ain't gonna lie to you. Good eats. Tell me why I opened up the page right to it.
No way. Ain't no way. I mean, there is a way.
But look, right to it, though.
Right to it.
Y'all,
That's crazy.
the camera said it ran out of memory.
Okay,
It says no space on the
This gonna be a 2-hour long joint.
Yeah.
We back on. Boy, we can close out there.
Yeah, we close out with this.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and close out with the scripture. It's perfect timing. We got the GoPro still going, so shout out to that. Literally, that's just, it's like the telepathy just.
So, yeah, it's there.
I'm mind blown right now.
You can do anything.
Yeah. And I said, let me put the phone away. It's like God wanted to make a point almost, you know what I'm saying?
Like, let me show you.
So this is in Matthew chapter 17. I can't even think of, I knew it was in Matthew, but I didn't know what chapter. It says, and after 6 days, Jesus taketh Peter, James, and John, his brother, and bringeth them up into a high mountain apart, and was transfigured before them. And his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light. And behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elias talking with him. Then answered Peter and said unto Jesus, Lord, is it good for us to be here? If thou wilt, let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for thee, and one for Moses, and one for Elias. While he yet spoke, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them. And behold, a voice out of the cloud which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. And when the disciples heard it, they fell on their face and were sore afraid. And Jesus came and touched them and said, Arise, and be not afraid. And when they lifted up their eyes and saw no man save Jesus only. I feel like that's just fascinating. Not only did they talk to Moses, Elias, but they also got a chance to talk to God too. So it was like, man, it's like that Master Splinter moment a little bit.
Dude.
No FaceTime.
No FaceTime. Straight godly energy. Yeah, the more godly we become, the more we get away from the worldly stuff, man. I feel like the more tapped in we'll be with each other, with ourselves, with our family, and just love and light in general. So I know we've been programmed, and I'm gonna do my best to not only deprogram myself, but the way that I work and the way that I put my message in everything that I do, from my artwork to my music. You see, I started off with I write gospel songs. Like, at this point, I can make anything, right? And I like to choose to put God first. So, I'm thinking we're closing. Yeah. I would just like to say, be powerful. I would like to say, continue to discover the most powerful version of yourself, and that's not inside of a phone. It's more so inside of books like this. It's more so inside of here in your heart and in your mind. So continue to search for the light and seek God. And I want to thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it.
Man, just want to say thank everybody for continuing to tune in with us on Go to Street Speaks. It's a growing journey, and it's getting bigger and bigger every time man, even to be looking right here in this GoPro camera, it's like, man, we elevated. We got a GoPro camera now in the building. So it's a very special moment. I'm grateful to be in the room with so many positive forces right now. I really think anything is possible. Like, we one idea away from just feeling that rumble. And it's like, man, y'all, everybody in the world, whoa, y'all feel that? Yeah, coming soon. Follow us all on the gram. Ahmad's been right. You want to shout out your gram?
I got a few of them. Lamar the Superstar, LamarTheSupastar. Then there's Kingdom Gallery with my artwork, KingdomGallerie, Kingdom Gallery. And then Sub-Zero Beats, my music, SUBZEROBEAT. Is it Z? It might be Z at the end.
We'll find it.
Z or S. So Sub-Zero Beats, Lamar the Superstar, and Kingdom Gallery.
Bet.
Yeah.
And be sure to tap in with Golden Street. Our website is goldenstreet.net. Tap in with our Instagram page, goldenstreet__. And yeah.